Greetings and hallucinations to all you folks out there in FAF land. I have a map for you today which some of you may not have seen before. It is called Melancholy Hill. I have played exactly one game on this map, and I have watched one or two. It seems to be a very unusual map in terms of gameplay. You have little clumps of mass extractors around. You do have like a crater or basin up here that is inaccessible except by dropping engineers. The edge is extremely disrupted so that you cannot edge build a factory, as far as I know. I may be incorrect about that, but that is my finding in my one time playing this map. Also, there are fairly decent chunks of reclaim. You can see anywhere that there is exposed dirt, there is a good little pile of red rocks, and also some other rocks around the edges. That has a pretty significant amount of mass in it, and then there are large boulders next to the water, and a few scattered here and there. The puddle in the center is a nice disruption of the flow of the map. It does provide a very slight advantage to hover units, which both players do have. This is Aeon versus Seraphim, Zlo versus Silent. I would give a leg up to the Aeon player because he will be able to front tanks across the water, which trumps the artillery, especially at this play level, because you know that they are going to be able to micro their units effectively. I have seen Navy pulled on this map, although that is a pretty rare occurrence. And of course, you do have the expansion in the center. I believe those rocks are reclaimable as well. As far as the map being split, it is kind of on a diagonal. You can see there is another rough patch there, and a mountain ridge headed in that direction. You will have clear shots with your units all the way around the outside edge. And then terrain is a huge, whoa, that's a massive pile of rocks there. Terrain is a huge deal. As you can see, it's very, very rough. So your build space is slightly restricted. And also, your unit's trajectories count. You have clear shots on the beach. There is no Cybern on this match. So that is a good thing because the Rhinos would not be connecting with any of their shots. Alrighty, I think that wraps up the map summary. I'm going to bump up the speed here, and we're going to see where these players take us. Looks like land first for both of them. Zlo is planning a second air factory on a very light power build because he is going to immediately rush down and grab that hydro. Silent has the same plan. He is speed building that hydro with assistance from his ACU, building 2 additional power generators as is normal, and then he is going to lay down that air factory. I think he may actually have it up. No, it will be ever so slightly behind Zlo. Alright, we do have labs headed out in all directions from Zlo, 2 to the right, 2 to the left, but no scouts. Odd choice of action. I have no idea what he was planning on that. And then we do have that artillery that came across very early. And a bomber. Harassment to the max from both players. We have a tank down here that's going to take care of that lab. Sniping off the expansion engineer. Another engineer. That bomber is definitely worth the mass that he put into it, but it will get shot down by those interceptors. This Tech 1 artillery right here is going to go for the hydro kill. That is going to end extremely badly if Zlo does not get on that El Pronto. Oh, luckily he is mass stalling, so his power situation is not critical. He didn't even have to pause his air. That is awesome. Although he does have an attacking tank down here. Silent has done a phenomenal job of locking down map control. ASCU to the right already claimed both of his sets of 3 mass extractors. He did lose the island in the center, but no big deal because he has these 6. Perfect expansion in the south, killed off that lab, dropped on his plateau, He does have, you can see, you have to build a land factory in the center where the ground is flat enough to do so, and then there's a huge pile of rocks to reclaim. So much reclaim on this map. Zlo looks like he's dumping a little bit more eco into air than Silent is. You can see the eco advantage here. Silent pulling in 33 mass per tick plus reclaim. And I forgot to turn my reclaim window again. Turn it on. That is going to kill me. That was a rush to Tech 2 air from Zlo. We can see he already has a gunship out. He is going to do a marvelous job of mopping up that island. Need to bring your ACU back. You're going to lose your mass extractors. Nope. Going to advance and use the gunship as a denial tool. Alright, he got that Tech 2 air completely off of reclaim. You can see his reclaim fluctuating wildly. He is going from 30, it looks like his actual income is around 34, 33, somewhere in there. And then his reclaim is going up as high as 50. He is sitting back here with an engineer reclaiming and also has engineers all over the map. Problem is, Zlo does not have anywhere near enough land factories. You can see we have a total of, let me get it, 10 land factories for Silent. Excellent little drop there. Using a Tech 2 gunship to kill off any combat units or expansion tools that he had, and then immediately dropping a land factory, which he needs to turn on and do so in a hurry to deny that tank. But you can see the problems that Zlo is having because of the superior land production of Silent. Zlo only has 5 land factories. I'm not going to count the one on the plateau because it does not directly connect to the land and therefore cannot put units down. So Zlo has 5. Half the build power of Silent. Silent has gone Tech 2 land as well, so there will be flak, and that is going to prevent Zlo from using all of those gunships he has created to deny land anymore. He's going to have to get a land force up, and he's going to have to do it quickly. We do have a naval factory in the water for Silent. As I said, sometimes you see Navy, but it is not something that occurs very often, it seems like, but we are going to see it this game. I would anticipate Tech 2 Navy, ASAP, and a cruiser coming out, because that would do amazing things as far as pummeling the enemy. Zlo apparently is not concentrating in the right areas as hard as he could be. He has a lot of stagnant units, and I am disappointed in that drop. As you can see, all of the units basically died to 2 artillery shots. They could have gone a long ways towards pushing into that base, but alas, they did not. We have air control. I cannot believe that. Zlo is pouring so much eco into this air project that he has. He is was sitting on a lot of gunships. Still is. There they are. Not quite as many as he had before. I imagine he had a run-in with some anti-air. Interceptor force coming in from Silent, evening up. That is what ate those gunships. Zlo is commenting, OMG, he is having major problems just not being in enough places at once. It looks like one of two things. Either Zlo is intoxicated, or it is either way too early or way too late to be playing, because I have seen Zlo play when he is at peak performance, and it looks nothing like this. Silent is going to get a lot of points out of this match if Zlo does not turn it around. Zlo is still trailing eco-wise and still does not have as much production. He is up to 10 land factories, but on the other hand, Silent, let's see, Tech 1 has 4 Tech 1, 1 Tech 2 support, and then 1 assisted Tech 2 HQ. So still overall, oh no, there's 2 more supports over there. So he has vastly superior build power dedicated to land. And that ACU is going to be popping out of the water directly on top of this expansion. That does have Tech 2 and gun. That is a very dangerous commander. Zlo is unupgraded. Not a good situation to be in. Ilshiva's pushing up the right side. Zlo is falling back on Tech 1 bombers to try and solve his problems. He has rushed Tech 3 land. Well, I say rushed. It is 21 minutes in, so nothing at this point is technically rushed. A rush would be a Monkey Lord were there a Cybern, but those Harbingers are going to be a welcome addition to the field because they will be able to deal with those Ilshivas finally. Something that can give him some area denial on land. It looks like Silent is going to set up camp directly on top of Zlo's expansion. That is going to give him roughly 70% land control and a 50% or greater eco advantage. 2 Harbies dropping on the expansion down here. That is going to wreck that plateau for Silent. Going to deny a decent little chunk of eco. Nothing terribly much, but there it is. And this makes me sad. There's a lot of unreclaimed units over here. Zlo needs to get some more engineers out. There are a large number reclaiming over here on the right side, but it looks like the last run of Ilshiv has cleaned out all of the other engineers that he had. And also air troubles. Silent has turned to Tech 2 gunships as well. His ACU is overcharging those Harbingers. 1 Mercy landed while the interceptors were on the other side of that ACU, but he is immediately going to take a dive into the water and retreat towards his base. A wise choice, I think, but we will see how that turns out. Destroyer in the works for Silent, and it looks like Aurora is pushing across the center to deal with this expansion in the middle here. Tech 3 land on track for Silent as well, pushing out 2 Tech 3 siege tanks and a mobile shield to protect them. Actually, there are 4 siege tanks out. That is going to be more than a match for the Harbinger. As bad as the Tech 3 siege tanks are, they do have slightly superior damage to the Harbinger. However, the Harbinger is faster, so it will be able to dodge in and out, let its shield recharge, and generally run harassment tactics, which is highly, highly effective no matter what the tech level is. Zlo still has an unupgraded ACU and is severely lacking in air power. This destroyer is going to take up camp, but the slight rise in the shore is too much for it. Gunships, siege tanks, a destroyer closing in on Zlo. Only 11,000 health to burn through. Apparently there is a pass through this mountain range if he can get over the top, but no. Oh my goodness. Zlo is taken down by a couple of siege tanks and a gunship or 2. That was slightly sad to watch, but it is a good learning experience. Something we can take away from this reclaim is overall, Silent was the more aggressive player, better on his reclaim, better on his rating, and better on his production level management. In the end, I think what killed Zlo was not having enough land production. You cannot rely on air. Air is a stopgap that you can use to save yourself, but once Tech 2 hits the field and you've got mobile flak around, gunships just are not going to cut it. So, kind of a sad ending and slightly one-sided game, but hopefully we can treat it as a learning experience and leave knowing more than what we came with. Alrighty guys, that is going to wrap it up for this replay. I hope if you like it, you will leave a like and a subscribe, and also check out the other casts on my channel. Thank you so much for watching.